as I've said on numerous occasions, Canada is not, as the great dark side Phil would put it, a serious adult country. And I think this is a good example of that. So, Winnipeg is widely regarded as the crime capital of Canada. It is probably the highest crime rate of any major city, although Vancouver might have a higher rate of property crime because of all the drug addicts there. But overall, Winnipeg is generally considered to have the highest crime rate. Particularly bad is shoplifting, which has gotten worse and worse as time goes on. In particular, I know a lot of just stores will have buzzers with cameras where they'll only let you in if you don't look shady. Sometimes for pizza or other takeout places, you have to call ahead of time and you have to call when you get there to pick up the pizza because they're so tired of people coming in and robbing them or coming in and stealing stuff that they just don't want to deal with it anymore. I know one time I was at a store and I was trying to buy some clothes and then some dude just ran out of the store with his arms full of coats and stuff like that. So this is a big issue. One of the biggest issues, though, and the one we turn to today, is the case of food fare. Now, food fare are a series of smaller grocery stores around the Winnipeg area. My understanding is they used to be independent grocery stores. A Palestinian family bought them and rebranded them as food fare, and so they're kind of like if you've been in Ontario, I don't know if you those from Ontario, I don't know if you guys know what Vince's is, or it's like a small local chain, I guess you could say. In urban areas, you don't always have ready access to something like Superstore or Walmart or Costco or something like that. So if you live in a neighborhood and you want to walk and get something, it's nice to have a nearby store, and that's kind of the niche that food fare fulfills. They also have a wide range of meat products, fresh produce, stuff like that, often at a decent price. Most of their prices I find are quite high, but compared to Superstore, but their meat selection is pretty good. The problem is people steal that a lot. That's one of the big issues is that they have people come in, fill up their bags with meat, and then run away. And it's basically just accept it. Now, I think there's been some drama, I don't know all of it, where the Palestinian family was trying to, or rather the Zeeds were trying to lay out baseball bats at like strategic locations because they're not a big company. They can't absorb the losses. And meat is expensive. And people are stealing like T-bone steaks and other kind of expensive cuts of meat. I mean, that can run up into the hundreds of thousands of dollars pretty quick. So that is an issue, a problem. Actually, I find a lot of even the ice cream things are locked up here. Let's see here. The object, old ice cream freezer in his office, our friendly weapon. I'm not going to allow my staff to be threatened and lose all that money. I'm not $1 million company. So this is happening. This basically was happening all the time. So this was from a couple of years ago. Now, this has gotten worse as time goes on. Let's see here. The nature has increased, and there's a level of violence. There's been machetes, there's axes, there's knives, there's police clubs. There's all kinds of stuff like that that are going down. I'm generally speaking blessed to be a 6'1" male, so I do worry about this stuff. I feel like I worry a little less than some people would. If I was like a little like 5'4" woman or something, I'd be way more afraid. In general, so yeah, so they have 4,000. I don't know if that's a lot, but it's gone up by like 50, 60, 70%. And the line as to whether or not you're allowed to use violence to defend your property, my understanding is generally speaking, you aren't. Generally speaking, so I did a little bit of work to try to look up self-defense laws in Canada. because it's something that is I often will talk about, and I'll often say that it's illegal to defend yourself in Canada. That's not exactly true. My understanding is the Canadian Criminal Code, uh, Canadian Criminal Code makes exceptions for defending yourself or your property, but it has to be a reasonable degree of force. Now, what does reasonable mean? Nobody has any idea what it means. It can basically be whatever the police think is reasonable when they come to arrest you, or whatever the judge thinks. So you better hope you got somebody understanding. It is illegal to possess weapons for self-defense in any form, to my understanding. And even if you have like to carry a baseball bat, you have like in your house. I think you have to like pretend that you're actively using it for another purpose or something like that. So the point is that store owners, it's not legal for them to defend their stores. So they're just supposed to allow people to go in and just take things and then call the police, and the police are supposed to be the ones to resolve it. And I'm sure that the police would be happy to track down someone who stole like $500 worth of meat. So you're not allowed to do that. Your employees aren't allowed to do it. The general advice in Canada is if somebody invades your house, you just give them what you want. There was that thing in Toronto that the one cop said that just leave your keys by the front door, so if they break in, they can just steal your car. The thing I saw, I was looking this up, is insurance can take care of it. Like, it's having your car stolen is I guess, as John Leibowitz would say, the price of living in a free society, or something about that. So here is what we are at the moment. So this is the fucking crazy shit that's been going down. Let me see if I can find it. So where is it? Well, this is. So it's behind a paywall, but I'll try to summarize. So, an Indigenous woman went into a food fair with her kid. Apparently, that's a common thing among shoplifters, is they bring their kid with them, so they can claim that the other person's endangering their child if they get caught. So to my understanding, she put a whole bunch of meat in her bag. She was approached by an employee and said, "Look, I want to look at your bag." She claims that he grabbed the bag. I don't know. But then she took a swing at him, and he swung back and hit her. Now, this was entirely 100% blamed on him, because he was mean to her. He told her, like, "Look, you can't steal things. Stealing is bad." Which was the general consensus. Also, he hurt her. It doesn't matter that she attacked him. The context doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if this is on film or whatever. The point of it is that she's a woman and Indigenous, and she got attacked. Now, fortunately, the guy in question was also a minority, so they said they're not going to fire him because the discrimination he's faced in his life has made him a violent person. So he's just suspended from his job. I think he was Pakistani or something like that. But the article's behind a paywall. But I think the police or whoever said that he lacked the cultural understanding of people stealing food, stealing meat. He didn't understand the history of colonialism in Canada, and if he did, he wouldn't have tried to stop her from stealing the food. So the immediate response to this was the Assembly of Manitoba Chiefs terminated all their business with Food Fair and declared that it was a racist organization, and they have been fighting a war against Food Fair. Apparently, they used to use it for some of their various programs, but the fact that one of their people was attacked someone and then got felted, that's while trying to steal. That's bad. I mean, because grocery stores, they throw out stuff, and that meat might have been thrown out. So what she was doing is she was actually helping the girl. And these are some arguments and I don't feel like reading through all these articles, but these are some arguments I've read. She was helping them because she was taking away meat that might have gone bad. And it's greedy. It's greedy to not like give it because you have to do your part. It's a type of reparations. Now, I do wonder if the fact that the company's owned by a Palestinian family has anything to do with it, and this is some kind of back channel revenge from someone. I don't know. It's just kind of a funny additional thing to that. So once again, they've been saying that. Now, I do like let's see here. So there's been some there was a case where let me see, where is it? Yeah, so there's a case slightly after the incident. 3 men carrying Mohawk warrior flags demanded to see the worker who punched the woman, describing themselves as angry natives and vowing to return until he's fired. Earlier this week, 2 cars owned by members of the Zede family had their cars burned. Now, it was funny if you look at the this is once again, this is why Canadian media scum is, it's called vandalized. I wonder what vandalized means. I mean, vandalized, what did they do? Key the car, spray paint it, maybe break a window? No, they smashed the window, doused the car in gasoline, and lit it on fire. That's what's considered vandalism these days. Wait, what is this? He believes the same woman involved in the shoplifting. When I was going home, opened my car doors, and there were 2 pieces of cardboard drenched in gas. Wait, so they tried to assassinate him or something? I don't even know, but yeah. So that is that is what's going on. Is they are it's happening. So as they're saying here, it's actually the Z's family's fault. They have to bear responsibility for its longstanding practice of bringing weapons to the table. It has been noted in coverage of the store's struggles that baseball bats are placed throughout the store, a deliberately aggressive attempt to discourage shoplifting. Indigenous shoppers, long tired of being watched from the moment they enter the store, rightfully resent such tactics. If there is going to be a solution, it involves putting the bats away. So like, it's his fault if he didn't try to protect his money and his business and his employees. Then like, that's the problem. Is indigenous people, they see these bats and they just go, I'm gonna steal because this man is treating me like a criminal by trying to arm his employees in a high crime area. So yeah, where are we? We can okay, so what's this? Repairing the words of the flag bearers who declared, we can come here every fucking day and shut the store down. This store is on Treaty 1 territory. You are on our land, suggest community leaders. Now we're going to do another video where we read Treaty 1. Treaty 1 doesn't say what they think it says, and it's actually very funny what the treaties will say. So apparently some of the food fairs are going to shut down. Once they shut down, there's no other really urban grocery stores. It's just going to be a food desert. So I think there was some like machetes or something like that someone was using. But it's just a constant thing. So the Chiefs organization is on the war path over this. They just keep telling it, look, their employees, look, just let them steal it. It's finally said the employee called 911 and was told the police would attend if they had time. So that's the response. Like, if does the lack of law enforcement not empower these crimes to continue? And when will society reach the breaking point when business owners in the community at large feel the need to protect themselves in such a manner that simply leads to an escalation of violence? That's what like, if you defend yourself, if you say, look, this is my livelihood, this is my home, this is my car, and someone decides to like fight back at the people who are stealing from them, they are the problem here. They're the problem. And they have to be punished for it, because defending yourself, defending your property is not a human right. Canada, I saw recently, is like the 3rd freest country on earth. and freedom to own guns or weapons or defend your property. Property rights are not part of freedom. I think that's very important to keep in mind. Now, to stop being sarcastic, how would I deal with this problem? Just implement extremely strict punishments for shoplifting for a while, and people will get the message. Just lock them up. Also, once again, I support the Second Amendment, even though I'm Canadian. I don't know, store owners should be able to defend their stores with lethal force. If some asshole's coming in with a machete and threatening you, I think you have every right in the world to pull out a shotgun and blow him away. Because once again, it's like the whole thing is just so fucking G-slur. Like, oh, well, just give it to them. They don't want to hurt you. Well, you don't know that. You don't know what drugs they're on. You don't, like, they could still just want to try to kill you. You don't know. And once again, it's this like, oh, well, insurance will pay for it because your insurance rates won't go up. And that's like beside the point. That's just, once again, that's just a very F-slur mentality. If I'm going to be honest, this idea that like, oh, you just have to have insurance to cover it, but like, no, they should be able to defend their property. If not, then just lock all of these people up, and don't let them out. It's you have a problem with people who are engaging in antisocial behavior, and so they need to be physically removed and separated from society, so to speak. As the great, what's his name said, but the great libertarian thinker. But no, this is just what it is. It's so that once again, Canada is not a serious country. We don't have a serious police force. We don't have serious self-defense laws, and that's always kind of part of anarcho-tyranny. Is you aren't allowed to own weapons, you aren't allowed to defend yourself, but unlike, like, say, Nazi Germany or something like that, there isn't an efficient, brutal police force who will come in and deal with that. Like, in a lot of totalitarian societies, you can get whacked for basically nothing. So how do you think they treat real criminals in those societies? How do you think they treat muggers and murderers and burglars and stuff like that? It's not very pretty. So you're not allowed to own weapons, but the state does not have the sense of humor that anarcho-tyrannies like Canada have. But that's the case. So God bless everyone. Make sure to not defend your stuff. And I'll talk to you all real soon.